In three,
YouTube.
does it say? Oh, yeah. Apparently we're live.
Yes, we are live.
Awesome.
Hi, and welcome to Guys Night. We are with Tony. He's a new addition to the GGRC crew. How you doing there, Tony?
Hey guys, I'm good.
Tonight we will be talking about the giveaway. It's finally here. We're giving away the little wooden handmade Batman. I wish I had it with me so I can show you because this doesn't really help me at all. And I keep doing it. I do it every time. Um, And how we're going to be doing the giveaway is the viewers. I said this last week. The viewers, I want your participation and I want your knowledge of Batman to seep forth. So muscle up all your Batman knowledge, and I will be giving you the first question momentarily. But before I get into the questions, a legend of sci-fi and media passed away. Leonard Nimoy passed away today. Um, as most people know him, he was on Star Trek as Spock, and he had a reboot for the new Star Trek too. And our condolences go out to him and to his family. But you know, it's he's Vulcan, and I believe in his Vulcan teachings, death is not the end; it's only the beginning. Yeah. Um, so we're gonna have a moment of silence for learning. Okay. Um, Tony, what have you seen recently in the news of realms of geekdom?
Um, Honestly, a lot of what I've seen lately has been gaming related, mainly Destiny, because everybody's getting excited for I think a new
So we're
expansion's
gonna have a
dropping here
moment
in
of
about a
silence
month,
for learning.
and everybody's kind of getting geared up for that console wise.
Yeah, Destiny. What do you have Destiny for?
I've had it for a PS4, and I've got it currently for a PS3.
Okay. I was just wondering because I have it for the Xbox One.
Ooh.
I am so
Enter the
alone.
Figure Wars.
I am I am so alone. All right, well, it's not okay. I guess you could say I'm a little fanboyish when it comes down to the Xbox versus PS4, but I grew up as a Sony kid, so I just yeah I don't know. It's not like a loyalty thing. It's just that I see Xbox, I see Microsoft with a vision behind their thing, and I want to
Right.
follow that path. I guess I don't know. Eventually I'll have to get a PS4
I
because
would say wait because they're having their fair share of hardware issues as is. There have been system glitches and everything else, kind of like when the Xbox came out originally and had all the red rings.
yeah.
I say wait on it. Maybe there'll be another price drop, and maybe Sony will be able to get everything figured out. And that way, if you go to buy it, you get what you pay for instead of
Well,
getting a really
see,
expensive paperweight.
that's the other thing that I've heard though. Later this year, Sony. I said this last week. Sony is basically counting on their PlayStation 4 to bring them profits as a whole for a company. They decided,
Right.
hey, we're gonna eggs basket. This is it right here. Like our investment policy is gonna be in the PS4, and with that, E3 is coming, I believe, in early July this year,
Right.
and E3 is the mecca of gaming conferences. This is like where Microsoft, this is where Nintendo, this is where the studios get together and they showcase their fall lineup for games and what's going to come out in the later years. If you didn't know what E3 was, but um, there's already been rumors that Sony and Microsoft are going to come out with I guess, the slim version of their consoles
Right.
already, or just newer additions to their console. I don't want to say the Slim just yet because the Slim doesn't come out until like 2-3 years later down the road. But
Right.
Sony is one company that been has always been the one to put out the rumors like they're going to come out with the next gen console. They're if you wanted a next gen console rumor to take fruition off of the internet, Sony was the go-to product for that. They
Right.
did it with when the PS2 came out, and everybody thought once the PS2 came out, the PS3 was going to come out the next year, and that didn't happen for like 4 years. PS2 and the Xbox had a strong hold for a while. Now,
Yeah.
Xbox didn't get that strong. The original Xbox, the original Xbox, the black one that looked like a Nintendo 64, that was yeah,
Yep.
it had a disc player that didn't go horizontal. It's basically like the one now. He just stays there, stationary, doesn't move. Um, that one didn't get as much recognition as the 360 did
Well,
because it came
the
out
in a way
after. Go ahead.
it did in a sense because I mean it put Microsoft on the map with the games, and you had a lot of your exclusives kind of take hold. And I mean, for example, you had the original Halo hit shelves, and as soon as Microsoft built off of what they'd made and what they'd gotten the rights to, they basically have managed to carve out their niche with Halo, Gears of War, and with Square Enix going multi-platform now, Sony kind of lost hold on that, and then Microsoft was smart enough not to dive straight into a handheld either,
Right.
because the Vita didn't do Sony any favors.
Oh, no, it did not. But at the same time, though, everybody had a PSP Vita when I was going to school, and I was like, I was on Game Boy. I was Team Game Boy all day. When it came to handheld,
Yep.
I was Team Game Boy all day. I was like, yo, they got it. No, no, no. PSP, stay over here. No, I don't care if you can play DVDs. I don't care if you can play them low UMD cartridges. I don't care. I got my handheld console right here. And they had all the little funky attachments with it, with the upper backlight that dropped down, and you had to
The
go
link
into the dark.
cables.
Oh yeah, link cables most definitely. You could not have a good Pokemon match without the link cables. And currently now I don't have any handheld gaming device besides my phone. This is it. Like this is what I'm gaming on. But well, handheld. Like if I'm leaving or going out somewhere, this is what I
Yeah.
watch TV. This is what I watch anime on. This is what I game on. This right here is Samsung Galaxy S5. I'm waiting for the Galaxy S6, which comes. The unboxing for the Galaxy S6 comes out in March. I'm so excited for. They've been
Nice.
like leaking little tidbits of what it might be, what it might look like, and I'm excited for it. And most people were like, "Why are you excited for it? You got a five. Like, shouldn't you be good with that technology?" I'm like, "No, because Samsung is Samsung came in and basically knocked on the doors of Apple and was like, "Hey, we're here. We're competing with you now. This is what we're
Right.
doing." And before the iPhone really had its the recognition that it does, they had the iPod. And if
Right.
anybody remembers from the '90s about dealing with the iPod, I don't know why you get an iPhone, but hey, to each his own. To each his own. I'm not dissing Apple. I don't.
I know.
I have an
But
iPad.
I mean, it's Yeah.
Yeah, but
As far as a handheld, honestly, out of the three, I would think Nintendo would win that hands down. Just because
oh yeah,
of, let's face it, everybody, and then some. You think of Mario, you think of Zelda. Nintendo has their niche market from kids who grew up in the 90s and then even nowadays. Like, Nintendo will always be that company where if you want something consistent and solid, Nintendo's got it.
oh yeah, most definitely. I totally agree with you on that because, well, I will not buy a DS. I will not buy the new because they have a new one. They have a new DS that came out earlier this month. The DX XL
Super
Monster Hunter
XL, yeah.
Monster Hunter 4 is on it. It looks great. I've seen it. I haven't played it, but I've seen it. It looks great. It looks
Yeah.
phenomenal. The C stick is a real game changer. People tell me that have it.
Uh-huh.
They like the C stick is a real game changer. I won't buy it yet. I will not buy it until the name Game Boy is stitched back into that. Like I want to see Game Boy somewhere on there. I don't care if you come out with a clear one. I don't care if you come out with a red one. I don't care if you come out with a multicolored one. I don't care. I want to see Game Boy stitched in there again. Okay, then I'll buy it. I'll buy it.
So
I'll buy it.
basically, you want them to magically come out with, here's a retro Game Boy edition just for you.
Gosh, is that so hard to ask for it?
They made one for the original Nintendo. Why not the Game Boy? I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Oh yeah, no, no, not at all. Not at
And I'm
all.
not gonna lie. The only reason I'm considering it right now is I'm sitting on a cartridge of the new Smash Brothers, but I don't have a DS to play it with.
Mm. And it's funny because in my lifetime I've come across like three DSs, and one of them broke because somebody sat on it, and that was a horrible, horrible thing. But the other two, DSs were really popular, and kids would lose them on the playground a lot.
All right.
And you had kids in the like lost and found, or oh, go to a pool, like go to the neighborhood pool. Kids on their DSs, they just happen to leave it. Next thing you know, it's like, oh, this is in the lost and found. I found like 6 Game Boys, 6 DSs in the lost and found box, and kids are like, oh, this is mine. No, wait, no, this doesn't have my profile on it. I'm like, are you serious? How do y'all lose this? This is actually costs money now. I remember like back when a Game Boy cost like $50. A
Right.
DS is costing like 200 something, like $199. Like
It's like
how?
you've quadrupled the cost, but you've minimized the attention to it. Like, we used to treat our Game Boys and our consoles like the slightest nick and the whole thing would shatter, you know? Like, it
Oh
was like
yeah.
your firstborn child.
Uh, I don't know. I still think that the '90s generation we had it. We didn't have it the best. We're not. I'm not saying we're the best, but we had a lot of privileges growing up. You get to see how it is now. We had television. I think television in the '90s was a little bit better, even though most of us didn't get the undertone meanings to a lot of stuff. But
The Batman series alone, worth it.
oh yeah, I mean, oh man, the Batman has evolved on just throughout the like. You had the animated series. That was the Stitch of the '90s Batman, and then
Yeah.
mid 2000s you had Batman Beyond.
I think
You had the
and you had,
Batman.
I think the original Justice League came out right around all of that as well, if not
Yes, yes,
late
did.
90s.
I think the first Justice League. The thing about it is, I used to watch those Justice League Friends with the Wonder Twins, and Aquaman could fly in space. I remember those once again. Aquaman can fly in space. How? Gills don't work like that. Wonder Woman had
You
the invisible
expect that all
jet.
of a sudden you should hear.
I mean, but I have respect. I have respect for both genres. I have respect for Marvel. All right. Let me put it like
Oh
this.
yeah,
I have Marvel has movies hands down until DC can show me something with their new lineup that they have coming out with their whole Justice League um, project that they're working on with Batman and Superman. Until they can show me that they have something there, I'm like, all right, Marvel still has it in the box office. And yes, I heard the comments about the Oscars recently, how, that's not true. I mean, a Marvel movie did win an Oscar. It was Big Hero 6. But,
right.
hey, you know, um, at the same time,
I will
there's
say
no
though.
movie that wins an Oscar that's going to even touch a Marvel movie in the box office. It's not going to happen. Marvel's going to sit up there and just be like, hey, we're making more money than you any day of the week.
Right. But I do think that if the Batman versus Superman thing flops, and like DC's putting a lot of their eggs in that basket to the point where, I mean, I heard they offered Bale something like 200 million to reprise the role, and he said no because he was done.
Yeah, yeah.
But
And Christian Bale is
I
not going to
think
be the new
what's
Batman.
he won't no.
The
But
new
I think
Batman
what's
will
going to be the
be.
make or break
Go ahead.
Affleck.
Yeah.
But what's going to be the make or break, I think, is it's not who they cast as Batman, and it's not who they have coming back as Superman. I think it's going to be uh, casting Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. That's going to be a hit or a miss because everybody's going to have their own perception of what she looks like. Honestly, I never would have pictured how the physique she's gotten as like she would not be my Wonder Woman of choice. I can see selected for that role, but I think she could have put on a little bit more in the muscle department first because she looks more like she's a runner and a climber versus an Amazon warrior princess, you know?
Yeah. And as that, you're right. But it's not going to be about Batman. It's not going to be about Superman. It's going to be the side roles that they have, and you have Jason Momoa. If you don't know who Jason Momoa is, he was in Stargate Atlantis. He was also in Game of Thrones.
He
He
was the
is
yeah.
he's going to be Aquaman, and everybody has this image of Aquaman, but Jason Momoa is the way they've got him suited up. He looks like he could be a decent Aquaman if they can take this picture, this image, and take it to screen. He's a great actor though. Jason Momoa is a good actor. No doubt about that. He's a great actor. But when it comes down to the actual fans enjoying, but then again, it's Aquaman. Aquaman really hasn't gotten that much play. Like everybody's like Aquaman is like the least of the superheroes.
But
And
I mean, if you think about it, Wonder Woman really hasn't been touched since I think who was it? Linda Carter was the
yeah,
last major attempt. So you're putting two heroes that are often underused and undervalued, and it's going to be what's going to end up making your movie because let's face it, it's DC. Batman and Superman already have your legacies are cemented. Like
yeah.
people know you, people know who you are. Your reputation and what they expect you to deliver is already there. But if you cast people into first time unknowns, then they don't really have a character to play off of. Like I'm sure Godot could watch Linda Carter's work or the Justice League all day long, but that's not gonna mean much if she gets up on screen and just does a disservice to the character.
hmm You were right about that. You were right about that because now the thing that DC doesn't have that Marvel does have is, I'm going to sound a little biased about this because my favorite character is Iron Man, but Marvel started with Iron Man. Okay, they started
Right.
with him. They started with Robert Downey Jr. Most people don't like Robert Downey Jr. I could, I'm not hearing
I
that
think
right
he's
now.
perfect for that
Yeah,
role.
I mean, he's. If you've seen any of past Robert Downey Jr. movies, he's built
I love
himself up
Sherlock
for this
Holmes too.
role.
Yep.
You know, but when it comes down to it, though, Marvel sat up there and released Iron Man, and it was like, all right, why didn't y'all release, Captain America first? Why didn't you release Thor first? Why didn't you release all these other people first? And they did it so seamlessly that it was like, all right, Captain America's coming, Thor's coming. Now you have something that nobody knew about, because trust me, I know nobody knew about Guardians of the Galaxy unless you was a real hardcore into the Marvel universe type of person. You had no idea who Groot was, Star Lord, Gamora. You had no idea who Rocket Raccoon was unless you played Marvel vs. Capcom 3. That was
Yep.
just saying. And people hopped on, like, it was like, oh, wait, what's Guardians of the Galaxy? I remember going to the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and I literally heard somebody's like, hey, well, Guardians of the Galaxy's out. What's this about? I really just like, how do you not know? How do you not know? Like, I have a poster, but Drax the Destroyer being played as Batista, I really thought that he was going to go back to the WWE, try to reprise this role. Like, they did not have faith in it, but that didn't happen, at all. Oh, man. When you
But I
think
will
you're about
say,
to be alone.
I will say one thing that has helped Marvel make a good bit more money than DC: consistent casting. Because you've had your same people, Robert Downey Jr. Hugh Jackman has been the only one to touch Wolverine, and then you've had your consistent Chris Evans has been Captain America. So you've had your same players. They've played their roles and they've done it well.
Oh, yeah.
So
But
you've had command performances time and time again.
But remember the big controversy that was with Chris Evans. Chris Evans was also, Human Torch.
The Human Torch, yes.
Like, nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares anymore. He's Captain America. You couldn't do a Fantastic Four and put Chris Evans in there, and people would lose their mind. And you're like, wait, hold up.
Right.
He was already in this. Like, he was already the Human Torch. But Sony, and I applaud Sony and Marvel for coming to understanding, and Spider-Man is now part of the Marvel universe, and yay for that! I'm super excited for that. The reason why it's so downplayed is because I don't know who's going to be Spider-Man.
Yeah, there have been rumors everywhere from Tobey Maguire picking the role back up to they've got, I think, Will Smith's son potentially being looked at, and rumors abound with that. And I think for Sony that helps because you've got the whole speculation of, oh, he might be joining the Avengers this time in the new one. Who's going to play him? Because, I mean, Tobey Maguire, he did 3 movies. He took a lot of heat. But all in all, I couldn't see him reprising that role. I don't see him wanting to put the mask back on.
The second. That's all I gotta say. This Tobey Maguire's best Spider-Man movie was the second one. It was not the one with Venom. But
yeah, the third one did feel
worse. It doesn't go anything to the actors at all. This goes into
writing,
the script, and the directors, and it has to, because Venom has so much potential, and y'all just didn't use it at all.
Right.
You didn't need Sandman there. Like, Sandman did not need to be there to help Venom out. Venom is an arch villain. He's an arc villain, okay? He's that guy that if he comes into the scene, Peter Parker has to change his whole demeanor up. you don't need Sandman on top of that, and yeah, Peter Parker has this, lackadaisical attitude about how he goes about things, but when he goes up against his arch rivals, you see a different side to him. He's a little bit more cautious about how he approaches the situation, and you
He
see that
puts
in
his
the
game face on
comics.
and goes to work.
Yeah, you know, um, and it's just with Spider-Man 3, I had a lot of hope for that. I had a lot of potential, and it's just like it fell short. But
It seemed like they tried to do too much and gave way too little detail.
yeah, but I will never go into a theater thinking a DC movie is going to even compare to a Marvel movie. I'm not gonna. I'm going to give DC their shot. I'm literally going to give DC their shot. I personally, I don't like Superman. That's me. I'm going to say it now. I don't like Superman. I have my own reasons why I don't like Superman. I'm not. If you want to know why I don't like Superman, you can
We can get
hit me
into
a
that
message.
another time.
Yeah, we can get into that another time. I personally, I don't like Superman. I grew up with Superman. I had little Superman action figures, but when I got to the age of like 16, automatically I was like, no, I don't like Superman. Um, Batman is my DC. I like
Right,
DC. That's my DC, character. My villain for DC is Vandal Savage, Apocalypse. Well, not Apocalypse, but Darkseid. And that's awkward to say
right.
because I don't like Superman. But um,
One one thing I'm hoping DC does in future. I don't know if anybody's actually been able to catch this, but the CW has a series called Arrow. I'm really hoping that they ask Stephen Amell to put the hood back on as Green Arrow in a DC movie, because if if he brings the same Oliver Queen to the screen that he does to that show, I think he's done a really well written and really well acted job of separating the carefree billionaire playboy from Green Arrow. It's two completely different people almost.
oh yeah, and the other thing the CW has is Flash, and
That's
honestly, Flash, they just need to give him the part to the movie. If like you're making a Justice League movie, just give the guy that's playing the CW role, Flash, just give him that part. Just let him do it. Just let him do it. But Arrow, I feel like they messed up. And I'm gonna say why Arrow messed up is because they had Raj Al Ghul in there. And Raj Al Ghul wasn't a different character. It was the same character that he played in Batman Begins, and in that's the one with Christian Bale, you know,
yeah,
and Raj Al Ghul showing up in Arrow, and then Fox having Gotham automatically showed me like, all right, this is not going to really work out to the DC Marvel movie, like well, the DC movie that I would like it to be, And I'm thinking, all right, they're
right.
about to use Arrow, they're about to use Flash, and like, they're about to put them in this movie, and I was like, wait, hold up, Fox. Fox has Gotham. Fox is
Well,
working on
Fox
Batman.
Fox is, I wouldn't even call it working on Batman. It's a glorified Jim Gordon background story. Bruce Wayne is still technically a child, and Alfred looks to be about, I'd say, 40 or 50,
Yeah,
with a little bit of post-combat age added onto it. So I could see an Arrow and Flash coming in almost seamlessly into that Justice League universe if they need to, because, well, maybe age them up 2 or 3 years, and they're right around where they're going to want them to be at.
but
And
see, that's
Gotham,
the. Go ahead.
and Gotham being an origin story to me, it really doesn't. I mean, the timelines really aren't going to cross, because you've got one like 30 to 40 years back early on, and then you have your modern day adults, Oliver and Barry.
But the Barry, see, that's the thing. Why? Because if I was looking at it backwards, because they already have, they have Smallville, and Smallville doesn't really count into this because they already have their Superman. and
Right.
they already have their Batman, and Batman and Superman are they're getting their movie. That's Dawn of Justice. That's their movie. That's gonna be that's theirs. Now I can't see the Gotham role even catching up to that. I can't see because they have all these villains. They have the Riddler. They got Zert. They got Vex in there. Uh they have Fish Mooney. They have Riddler. They have Penguin. They have Catwoman. They have Poison Ivy. They have all these villains just sitting here in this little show, and it's just like Fox has this. CW and Arrow could go on to the movie, but Gotham will never actually be in this movie. Might have had a little technical difficulty. Oh no. We've had some technical difficulty.
Sorry, I had to switch over. We had a mild bit of a technical difficulty.
All right. Um. All right. So, for the viewers out there that are watching, comments below. What?
Good luck, guys, and have some fun.
Who is Bruce Wayne's mother and father? What are their names? That is the first question for tonight. Comments below in the YouTube page. If you are watching this live, comments below now.
Do 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 do.
Okay, the correct answer that we're looking for is Martha and Thomas Wayne. Also, if anybody did not know, Martha's real name was Arkham. It was Martha Arkham. Before she could marry Thomas Wayne, it was Arkham. Just to let y'all know.
I thought I was a big Batman fan. I didn't even know that one.
Nah, that was on Gotham. That was on Gotham. Apparently they've gone back. They've gone way back in Gotham, and they've decided, hey, we're going to bring back Arkham. And Arkham looks like the not the island. It's not the island. It's just the little area that's just a little outside of Gotham. That's still connected to Gotham. That if you hop
It
the
looks
fence,
like
you're
more
in
of
Gotham.
It looks like more of an Arkham City setup than the island, like where they've
Yeah,
just cut off that chunk.
like in the movie with Christian Bale, like there's an island, there's bridges that you need to get to. You need ferries to get over there. And this one is like, no. They're right there. Like there's residential homes, there's apartment buildings, there's a couple of banks down there. Yeah, they're just up
What
there on
could
top of that
possibly go
hill.
wrong with this?
We don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows. But um, and it also brings up the fact that I believe, well, Marvel. I know Marvel has already mentioned that their universe is going to come to an end, and I have not heard if there is going to be a reboot yet, but I'm hoping there is. I've heard speculations of new story new people getting new storylines, new reprising different origin roles in the comic world. Anyway, this is the comics. It's the comics, not Marvel Entertainment out there with the whole 7-year plan. This is the comics, and I can't stress this enough because when I heard this, I was like, my soul, it's leaving me. I'm dying.
I had a mini heart attack just the way you phrased it. I was like, oh God.
It's like, do not go to your local comic book store and try to riot. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people, and I need to have a couple of my friends that do not vibe with the Marvel and DC because their opinions for Marvel and DC are so out there that I find it to be entertaining. And I feel like I need to have them on the show so that y'all can hear their opinion of Marvel and DC just not collaborating and how they like independent artists. They like independent creators. And I used to be a part of that scene. I'm not anymore. I'm full on the upper establishment. Marvel and DC. I'm on that team. I'm not with the whole independent Arthur thing anymore. I'm sorry. I used to be. I fell out. It takes time and it takes a lot of effort. And independent artists, I have to give you your credit. Your credit is due because the couple of independent artists I was following, their comic books got canned before they could even take off, and they had good hope behind them. I'm like, yo, this could easily be up there. This could easily be up there with Marvel caliber type of work. The way this is going, and it's just like, no, canned third issue. I'm like, oh no, and that was like another reason why I got out of it is because I was dedicated, but when I found out it got canned like 3 months after I haven't had a new fresh comic in my hand, I'm like, okay, I'm done. Where's the next one at? Oh, it's gonna come out in a month. All right. And then now 2 months go by, you still haven't heard from it. It's just like, we'll find out it's been canned.
A lot of us, honestly, how many of us still have comic books that we have in our hands these days, though? I mean, because what with technology and everything else, like, you can go and download the newest Batman onto your Kindle or your iPad or whatever have you.
Hold on, I got the because you just said that, so I want to show you what I have. I want to show you this. Hold on. This is happening. This is happening.
Uh-oh. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Wonder what he's going to have.
See, started something. You started the revolution. I want to tell you.
And I mean, at least with Disney owning Marvel, I mean, at least Marvel should be secure for the foreseeable future, if nothing else. You're about to just pull out every physical comic you own.
No, not every physical comic I own. Civil War, the graphic novel. The Spider-Man version of the Civil War. This is still in packaging.
Wow, that is beautiful.
And this is don't get me wrong, this is not like original. This is a reprint, but this is like a 1980s reprint. This is not 2000. This is a 1980 reprint.
Right.
You know,
I actually need to go and read the Civil War story.
Oh, the Civil War story was awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, I got Black Panther over here. You know,
honestly, I could see Black Panther having more of a role in the Avengers than I could see Spider-Man. Maybe that's just because it's been done.
Yeah, but Black Panther, they're giving Black Panther his own movie though. Marvel already said it. Marvel's giving Black Panther his movie.
Right.
He's getting that movie.
Speaking of Marvel characters, how did you feel about the whole character swap? Like there were rumors of the original Cap dying from some side effect of super soldier serum, and you had the whole thing going on with Thor not being able to wield the hammer. What's your take on that?
All right. Man. Um. So you didn't read the Civil War, but the one thing about the Civil War, and it's kind of messed up because Cap is. It's not like the first time. It's not the first time Cap has died.
Right.
Because in Civil War, Cap got his brains blown out, like splattered back of the
Now I
wall.
have to read it.
And like that was the main reason. Like I got it. I got Civil War because I wanted to see the whole breakdown of Marvel um masked versus unmasked people. Tony
Right.
Stark being one of the people that have already like put himself out there, like yeah, I don't need a mask to say who I am, and then him taking on Spider-Man, and then they coming up with the whole Iron Spider and all this other and it gets deeper than that. Don't get me wrong. That's the top layer. That's the
Right.
icing. The actual cake though breaks down that it went into the government control policies, everything. It went into actual political stuff that was happening during the time when the Civil War came out, and people did not. Some people understood it. Some people didn't understand it. Some people liked it. Some people didn't. But most of the people that I talked to about Civil War, they did not like it, and it's because of the fact that this is probably like one of the first comics that got really in depth into something that was talked about publicly in
Right.
political in a political standpoint. And when they used to do that, like back when the wars and back when World War One and World War Two and Vietnam was going on, comic books used those outlets to voice their
Right.
opinions about certain things, and people didn't like it. People did like it, but hey, it's the media.
Right.
You take the good with the bad. But Civil War touched on basically, martial law and how if we go to war and how the government has the right to go into your homes and seize your property and all this other stuff just for the benefit of the government. It's not for the benefit of you, the citizen. It just benefits them because it's a power move. That's all it is. They can have a better position on somebody that they're watching from inside your house. Now,
I'm
how is
pretty
that fair to
sure.
you as the
I mean, those of us in the U.S., I'm pretty sure that's illegal at least in 6 or 7 different ways.
I mean, no, because I mean it's in the Constitution. It's eminent domain. They can
Oh yeah.
they can do that. They have the right to do that. They just haven't done it. In state martial law, and you don't have a home no more. No matter how much money you put onto it,
Right.
you don't have a home anymore. If they decide, hey, we need your home, and then the Civil War talked about that. They talked about like all that, and it was just like Marvel's gonna get they're gonna Marvel's not gonna be Marvel anymore after this, and Marvel wasn't Marvel after that because after that, after the whole thing, you see Cap dies, and Cap and Iron Man winds up picking up Cap's shield, and it's like I need to carry on this, and Iron Man does that. He picks up the shield, he picks up the flag, and he's like, "Hey, this is not gonna happen." And a lot of people were happy and a lot of people weren't happy with it. But most people I talk to in the comic book stores, they don't like Civil War. Some people do. Some people do because I
I have a
definitely
feeling
enjoyed it.
that just because like I'm a massive diehard Captain America fan. I mean, I grew up. I'm a military brat. I grew up around the military, so Cap's always had a soft spot in my heart because of
Right.
that. But I have a feeling just because I've yet to honestly delve a lot into Cap's death. I've kind of avoided that topic because for me, Cap is one of those characters that I've gained such a familiarity with. You know,
Oh
it's going to
yeah.
be like if Batman just all of a sudden just dropped dead and was never coming back for you, I guess would be the best way to
And
put it.
I mean, well, like I said, Iron Man is my favorite. He's my favorite superhero. Like Iron Man shirts. Yeah, Iron Man. That's my dude. Tony Stark. Um, abusive alcoholism, daddy issues. It spoke a lot to me
And you're like,
as a
why
kid.
can't I have the bank account with all that other stuff?
Yeah, it's just like the money would be nice. The money would help. The money would help. Um, but I've seen Iron Man die, you know, and I've I've kind of dealt with that. I've seen when Iron Man actually dies and he passes on the legacy to his daughter and to Pepper Potts. I've seen that. He dies from, he is one there's one where he dies of cancer. And there's one where he dies from the actual metal shards actually hitting his heart. And he dies on the field, like he's fighting a terrorist set, and the reactor goes off, and the shards just invade his heart, and he just dies. Um,
I would think, honestly, for him, that would kind of be almost the preferable way to go because he goes out fighting versus
yeah,
cancer. He may potentially be laying in a hospital bed, unable to move, unable to do anything. Like, I would
yeah.
rather, me personally, just throw me on the field of battle and let me go out like a man.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I think, and that's the thing about gamers that most people don't realize about gamers. I feel like if we take gaming seriously, if we get into that whole like development of role playing and actual game, all gamers want to be in real life. They want to be heroes.
Right.
You know, they want to have the opportunity to go out into that field and prove that they are not what society thinks they are.
We're not the weaklings. We're not the wallflowers. We're not the ones that just kind of fade into the background. We want our moment
Yeah,
to kind of be the hero, be the person that somebody remembers. Gamers are just as much about legacy as anybody else. And
oh
I
yeah,
mean, we may live
and
vicariously through our characters, but
that's what makes it weird. That's where things get a little weird. It's like, oh, you're living through the look. We the brain is still there. It's still working. Okay, just building a armoredized suit costs a lot of money, and having the technology and the brain and the know-how in order to make an art reactor to power it, that also takes some and that actually that the government might actually come break into your house at that moment in time. Just saying, but
I
like
could totally see you winning the lottery, and then after you've officially built the art reactor and the suit and all that, I could see you just standing in front of Congress and being like, "You're welcome. I've officially privatized world peace," and walk out.
I would do that. I really would. I would so do
Just for
that.
that moment. Just for that
But if I
moment.
win the lottery, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. If I win the lottery, because my mind goes to a whole bunch of different things. If I win the lottery, I'm building me a compound on an island so I can go to avoid the zombie apocalypse. That's where I'm going to. Okay, I'm like, oh, zombies. I got a place to go. I have a place to go to.
All my months of playing Black Ops 2 are worth something.
No, because honestly, if you dove into the zombie aspect of that, I'm just like, look, if they're Walking Dead zombies, I'm good. If they're 28 day later zombies raged in the field, can sprint, I'm dead. I'm just like, bite me now. I'm done. I am not trying to outrun this, nah.
It's
Because
like, let me enjoy my sandwich and my drink, and then bite me.
I'm just going to sit down, take a lawn chair, crack me open a beer, and I'm just going to be like, yep, come get me. That's it. That's it. It's done.
I could totally see you
Because,
just having like almost Merle attempts suicide in The Walking Dead. He basically just drives up into a mob of walkers and just sits there with a massive bottle of, I think it's whiskey or something at the time, and starts
yeah,
playing AC/DC. I could, if it was the sprinting ones, I could totally see some of us kind of.
I mean, I just, the sprinting ones. It's just I would just think that's a lot of bullets. That's a lot of bullets, and
And I mean,
that's
it's not like you're sitting on top of a gun store either, so bullets are going to be hard to come by.
yeah. You gotta think about survival. And that's the one thing about that is thinking about survival. Now,
Katana.
most people like they're like, oh man, he's talking about zombies again. I'm like, no, I think about every aspect. I think about
Right.
every aspect. You know, I don't think about just all right. There's flesh-eating zombies that are trying to kill me. No, I think about all right. What if the world like what if we lost power? How would you survive
S-
if you didn't have power? You know, if you didn't have
And
the
the
internet anymore, how
interesting
would you
thing
survive?
is, a lot of people tend to freak out whenever like the power goes out at your
Yeah.
house or whatever have you. It's as simple as grabbing a flashlight and grab some candles for the time being. Like, if you didn't have power, there's plenty of ways that you can pass the time if need be.
Oh
And
yeah.
you're not looking at zombie apocalypse as, oh my god, I want hordes of zombies to rush at me just so I can mow them down. You're looking at it from a completely tactical and logical survival perspective,
Right.
which is another thing I think gaming kind of helps us with, especially with like, I'm gonna throw Naughty Dog a little shout out here. Last of Us, probably one of the best survival horror games I have ever played because it makes you not only watch your weapons and your ammo, but you're limited on health. If you don't have a health pack, you don't get healed. It's not
Oh,
like,
that
let's
is
say, Call of Duty
so
where you
very
can just
true.
crouch down and your health regens after 30 seconds or whatever have you.
Oh yeah.
And I give
And
them props for doing that because it makes you work a little more.
a little more is an understatement to that. Okay.
Especially near the end.
A little more is an understatement, but it definitely allows you to open up your HUD and look at your HUD like, all right, look, I need this, and I don't have time for trying to go in like bang bang shoot 'em up type situation. I don't have time for that. I need to get past this dude like really quick, real quietly, so I don't die.
I will
And
admit, like, I played it through the first time completely like that. I ended up halfway through the game, no bullets, nothing I could use, and I was like, whoa, this works out.
I avoided so much stuff. Like I couldn't do it. I was like, man, let me just try to go gun ho one time. I went gun ho one time and I got dealt with. I got slaughtered. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
nope, not doing this. Not doing
The
this. I'm going about
AIs,
this
the
a
AIs
different
can
way.
actually hit a target for a change, you know? And I gotta
Oh yeah,
say,
most definitely.
I actually, I got a chance to go to a con when I was in Atlanta last year. They have a convention at, I think, Georgia Tech, or right around where that school is. And I actually got a chance to meet both of the actors that play Joel and Ellie. Like, sat down, had about a 20-minute conversation with both of them. Great people, really polite, and they both kind of went into a little bit of detail about what making that game was like for them. And the chick who played Ellie literally was in tears by the end of it because she was like, it was you guys went on an emotional ride while you were playing it, is how she put it, but we had to bring those characters to life. So multiply that by quite a bit for them because they're having to breathe life into every aspect of that game.
Right. I'm trying to keep an eye out on the YouTube comments.
I was just
Yeah.
about to ask, how are we doing on the quiz?
I think I'm the only one watching this thing. Oh man. All right. So, trying to figure out how this is gonna work now.
I could just magically answer all six. I'm kidding.
I I don't. I also I don't.
I mean,
'Cause
do
I
we
think it,
have anybody commentating on or commenting on it as of this moment, or are we kind of just waiting on an answer still?
no, because I don't believe anybody. I don't actually know. I have no comment here at all.
Well,
So the next question, I guess, going into back into the quiz. This is the second question. I had 6 questions. I might just cut this down to 4. It might just be a 4 question. Might be 4.
I vote you make him
Um,
work for the last 2.
how hard should I make them work for this?
I
The
think
last 2.
we
How hard should the last 2
well
questions be?
we've hit a little bit of modern day Batman here
Okay.
already, or we're going to, I would think, with the first 2, because you want your
Mhm.
average person to kind of at least delve a little bit into it without having to be like a Batman aficionado, like let's say either one of us. But I'm thinking maybe drag either one of the or any of the additional Robins. Like go with somebody outside of your Dick Grayson or your Tim Drake. Maybe drag Jason into it, or even go with an alternate Batgirl, just to see how. Like you have everybody automatically jumps to Barbara being the only one, and
Yeah,
she's
it's not
not.
true.
I
That is
mean, look
so
at
not true.
Cassandra Cain just for a start.
Oh man, I like Cassandra
I know, I know.
though. All right, so man, all
On
right, so
that note,
the last 2 questions. Oh my gosh, y'all might hate me for this one, but hey,
you're
I'm
welcome,
gonna say I
guys.
think y'all brought
Any
it on
angry
yourself.
rants, feel free.
Oh man, I love
uh,
rants. I get. Hey, my Xbox knows nothing but hate. That's not true. It knows love too. It knows love. It knows
they're gonna
some
love
love.
the fact that you guys just drug me on here tonight, and it's like, oh, let's make the questions harder.
Well, I had 6, and I was like, I thought one was already hard enough. I was like, which hand does Batman use for his grappling hook?
You know, somebody's sitting there playing Arkham Asylum or Arkham City as they try to answer.
They gonna answer that. It's like, hey, it's his right hand. No, 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 it's his left. Left, it's the left. It's the left. Left, the left. Type in left.
Now, if we said you need to send us a video response typing with whatever hand Batman uses to grab it.
I'm like, where'd you get your source from? I want to see your information. I want you to prove to me that it was his right hand. Where'd you get this information from?
Show your work like
And
you did in school.
new footage from Arkham Knight doesn't count, okay? Arkham Knight doesn't count. Arkham
Oh,
Knight doesn't count.
you just dashed like 30 people's go-to footage right there.
No, I mean wait. My back, like, I take nothing away from the Arkham Knight at all, because
Right.
I believe this next game is going to be amazing.
Oh yeah, I'm looking
Amazing.
forward to it.
And the reason why I say that is because I saw the trailer, the full final version trailer. It looks all nice and gritty and just awesomeness.
It
But
looked beautiful, just from a.
what I really took away from that was Arkham Knight was behind Scarecrow. He wasn't in front of Scarecrow. He was behind him. Like, he's been puppet mastering the mess out of this dude. I'm just like, yep. Can't wait.
He's been the guy
Wait to
sitting
get
in
my
the
hands on that
background,
game.
just like, dance for me, puppet, dance.
And that, and Mortal Kombat X. I'm also looking forward to. If I can get my hands, like, if Mortal Kombat, could send me like the collector's edition, I'll pay for it. Like, I will, but I want that collector's edition because, yeah, that's just that's that
One
Scorpion
of
just
these
looks
days
beast.
they're just gonna run out of like whatever little collector items they're sending, and you're just gonna get like a prop from a new movie, and it's gonna be whatever. It's gonna be a replica prop of like Scorpion's chain or something.
I would be happy with that.
Tell me
I
people
would
wouldn't
love
pay
that.
like 200 plus just to have that. Just to have that hanging up in your room somewhere. I know I would.
I would. Most definitely. In a heartbeat. I'm gonna take my money now. Here. Just take. Make it rain.
You just want the ability to throw a giant chain with a knife and scream, "Come here!" for no reason.
Get over here. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of wanted to do the voice acting. I wanted to be that guy that's just like, when I was growing up as a kid, had a deep voice. I was like, finish him. Fatality. Flawless victory. I just got better and better. And I was like, hey, I could actually do this. I should call it Mortal Kombat. I'm like, hey, can I do voice acting for y'all?
You know, one of these days you're just gonna get an email or a message on your Xbox or whatever have you, and it's gonna be like, "Oh, by the way, NetherRealm's hiring," and it's just gonna be like, just drop everything and and run.
I might. Actually, no, I would. If NetherRealm helped me up, it was like, hey, there's an opening.
By the way, while we're on the topic of collector's editions, a little bit of Street Fighter swag.
Ooh.
That's the belt of Ryu's that came with the collector's edition for the PS3, in addition to like all of the games they released, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, soundtrack, and other loveliness.
Oh yeah.
That was the one that I
Tekken.
waited for it to. Yeah.
Tekken has a game coming out too. Dude, I keep sleeping on this. I don't know why I keep sleeping on this. Probably because I don't hear about it on a daily basis like I do with Mortal Kombat. But
Mortal Kombat, yeah. Tekken's kind of been a. Have you seen the footage for that new Street Fighter though?
Yeah, yes I have. It
looks.
It reminds me of the old school, but just with a splash of the new school type thing into it. But it doesn't seem as cartoony-ish as the, Super Street Fighter did.
Right. That was the one thing I did not really care for when they released Super Street Fighter.
Because, I don't know, it's like the artwork for it just looked really cartoony-ish. It just, like, Street Fighter 4 didn't look that cartoony-ish. It really didn't. And then we put in Super Street Fighter, it was like, what am I playing?
Honestly, like, I've always, as far as the artwork and the playstyle, I've always preferred your Marvel vs. Capcom playstyle versus, like, the newer Street Fighters. Oh, because yeah. It's felt kind of a little more blocky to me. They've tried to turn something that should be speed and timing based into way too technical. They did the same thing with the Soul Calibur series. I don't know if you ever played that.
Oh, Soul Calibur is known in my family as the end-all, be-all. Hey, if you want to get your butt kicked over, if you have an argument, we settle it in Soul Calibur. That's how we do it. That's how we used to do it. That's how we used to do it. We don't do that no more.
Why, you got too good?
No. I got my butt kicked one time, and I was just mad about it. And then I got my butt kicked with a created character that I had supered up, and nobody was touching me with it. I was like, just you're dead. You're dead. Next thing you know, I just got dealt with. Got so dealt with. It was not even funny.
I have to say, honestly, if I play Siegfried right, though, you're not even getting up off the floor. Like, I've had people tell me I can no longer use Siegfried because it's either you're not getting up off the floor or you're just getting rung out.
See, you can try that. You can try using Siegfried against me. All I'm going to do is I'm gonna just use Kill It. You can try. I'm just going to use Kill It, and this is going to be done. I'm just up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down.
I'm about ready to be like, what system do you have and what Soul Calibur game do you own? Let's do this.
I got Xbox 360. I got the 360.
Oh. I gotta go get myself a 360 in Soul Calibur now. This is gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. Let's do it. Let's do it. I got nothing but time
I
on my hands.
honestly, I had the R2D2 one. I wish that I hadn't. I got rid of it when I moved. I needed a little bit of extra cash, but that was one of the ones that like I wish I'd held on to.
The one with the
I had
extra,
the
the system.
C3PO controller, the 5. Yeah.
Oh man, they had that at my GameStop. They had that at my GameStop, and I'm looking at them like, I remember how many people bought this, like, because I was there the night that it got released, and I'm like, I remember how many people bought this system, and only like 3 people brought it back, and I'm pretty sure like, but in my general area, I have 4 GameStops.
Yeah.
And each one of them has they have an R2D2 360 up there. They also have a classic vintage PS3 that's backwards compatible. No lie, I've really seen this happen because I want to say it was his mother didn't know, the kid knew. Mother didn't know. And they go to they walk into the GameStop and was like, I would like to get a PS3 used. And we go down the list. They went down the list of what they had, right? The kid was like, I want the one that's vintage. I want the oldest one you got. Mom's looking at there. She saw the Slim. She saw the little Slim J, little non-backwards compatible one. Bought that for him. Kid was mad. He was so mad. Like, he had the saltiest look going out of that store. I'm just like, oh my God, you don't realize what you just did to that child. You hurt him. You hurt him.
No Kingdom Hearts for you.
You can't do nothing with that. Like, you can't do nothing. I'm just like, man. I hope you still. The thing about it is, like, go ahead.
I was really happy when they remastered, like, a lot of them. They have pretty much the entire Kingdom Hearts series out for the PS3. Like, literally, I snatched that thing up the day it was released because Kingdom Hearts, for me, was, like, that was my game when I was a kid. That and Mario.
I mean, Kingdom Hearts is coming out for the PS4.
And the Xbox One.
Yes, it is. I didn't know that.
And the only reason
I didn't know that though.
Square Enix is multi-platform. Anything they produce is going to be coming to both, or it should be coming to both. Which that's part of the reason that Sony's business has done so horribly because they lost their.
Yeah, they lost Square Enix. Like without Square Enix, they lost out on Final Fantasy. They lost out on Metal Gear. They lost out on a lot of stuff.
Well, Metal Gear, honestly, Metal Gear was their own fault because the creators, they walked away because they were, they felt like they were being pushed too much, and it wasn't their project anymore. It was more of how many of these can you produce in the time frame we set you. They weren't giving them the time they needed, type of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of like
that is true. I will.
Justin Lin had the same issue with the Fast and Furious movies. Like, he was supposed to be directing. They wanted him, I think, to go up through 12, and he said, "I'll potentially do this last one, but I don't want to be on the hook for anything else."
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna make me do it the way you want it done, and you don't let me do my job as a director, then, yeah. That seems to be an ongoing thing with Sony, though, is they push those release dates way too much.
I mean, when it comes down to, like, Sony has always been a backbone in technology, I believe. Like,
right.
I believe that, Sony has sat there. They've dragged through the mud. They've done all the same, counterproductive, whether it was productive or counterproductive. You know, they've done it. Sony's done it. Microsoft has done it too, but Microsoft didn't do as much as Sony did because Sony after the Genesis, after Super Nintendo, after that, Sony decided, hey, here's our console. Here's the first PS1. We're going to give you Tekken. We're going to give you a bunch of games that you have not seen before on a whole different play style. After Super Nintendo, after Genesis, after the NES, not after NES, but here's Sony, right? And then you had NES. And then, you had that back and forth thing. Not many people had an NES. Not a lot of people had an NES. They had a Sony. They had a PlayStation 1. They had an original PlayStation 1.
Because it was more widely available at that point, too. Because I think either right around them or close to it, I think, was when you had your Nintendo 64 and all of that got started as well.
Where are the diapers?
On the chair.
We didn't have any sour.
Oh, okay.
It looks like we did. We might not put it all on.
All right. Yeah.
How are we doing on the quiz?
Not good, actually. So, the next question for the quiz, and I'm hoping that people are going to comment tomorrow, because that means you have to watch the show in order to know this. Next question for the Batman figurine quiz is...
Uh-oh, he's reaching into his vault of bat knowledge.
Nah. All right, here's an easy one. This is easy. This is easy. How long after Bane broke the Batman's back, how long was Batman out of commission for?
Oh, you're going into... Okay, nice. Good.
How long was Batman out of commission for? After Bane broke the back of the back.
And
broke the back of the bat to the bat.
Just to clarify, you are not referring to Dark Knight Rises, you're referring to the comic.
Yeah, I'm referring to the comic. No, it wasn't no...
Because I know some people automatically are going to be like, oh, that happened.
Nah.
Because I had a feeling somebody was going to be like, well, in Dark Knight Rises, this happened.
Yeah, it did, but it's not the time limit that was in the comic book, so...
Because if I remember the one you're thinking, it took him a good bit, even with help.
Yep.
Like, the man's human. He's going to feel his limitations, and especially any back injury, you're going to be hurting. Speaking of Bane, while we have that topic kind of broached, 97 Bane or Dark Knight Rises, or should they have melded the two?
Oh.
Because I can see cases for all of the above.
Yeah, but honestly, I'm going to go with Bane that they did correctly in Young Justice.
Okay, you went with option C. You're thinking out of the box here. All right.
Like, that's the Bane that should have been feared. 97 Bane, because the one that you're talking about is with the Batman and Robin.
Right.
You're talking about the Venom-induced, Juggernaut Bane. And then you have this one that's more cerebral. He's a cerebral Bane, minus he doesn't have Venom. He doesn't have any Venom coursing through his blood at all in Dark Knight Rises.
If anything, he's got the opposite. If I recall, he had painkillers or something going into him because of whatever happened.
He also had the breathing issue that was going on because of PET and everything else like that.
Right.
This is the underdose Bane. You have the high dose Bane and you have the underdose Bane. The middle right here, Young Justice Bane, because
Yeah,
Young Justice Bane, he didn't need the Venom. The only reason why he needed to even to use the Venom was to fight other superpowered people. That was it.
like he didn't need it as a he didn't use it as a crutch because the way that they did it in Young Justice, the dude literally could have thought his way out of almost anything. The only times I ever saw him actually even touch the Venom was, I think he gets thrown into like some mutant fighting thing at some point when he's
Yeah.
taking a compound, and he uses that to offset the physical limitations. And then doesn't he go toe to toe with Superboy at one point?
Yup. And he needs it for them because then Superboy's
Yeah.
using patches. Superboy was dosing himself up. And I understand like people didn't
Oh
like
yeah,
Young
because
Justice,
that was
but Young Justice was needed. That would have been perfect.
yeah.
Like Young Justice was needed for this new generation. It was needed. I don't care what anybody says about like right wing political stuff. The stuff that we watched was not right wing and political. It was way just what were y'all like when y'all came out with the Justice League that everybody watched on CW, Kids WB, FX5, Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network on occasion, yeah.
Like, did y'all really even dive into the depth of what y'all was actually showing the kids? Or nah, y'all just we're not going to talk about how Hawk Girl was a traitor. We're not going to talk about how she and John, not John, not John. What's the other Green Lantern I'm thinking of? Stewart. There you go.
You're John Stewart, yeah. He was the Marine Corps guy.
Yeah, Hawk Girl and John Stewart never got together. That didn't happen.
They did, in a sense. They dropped a lot of hints at it, but remember, it is a kids' show, so they can only go so far.
I know it's a kids' show, but still. And Young Justice was not a kids' show, but most of the stuff they have on TV now is not a kids' show. It's a
right, and it's a product
like,
of eras. It's difference in time as well, because like you can get away with a lot more nowadays than you could have then.
I mean, and
then
our
there are
generation
shows
growing
like
up, they're undertones. The undertones you couldn't get until you was an adult. I'm an adult and I'm getting these undertones. Like Adventure Time, regular show, I'm getting these undertones like it's nothing. I'm like, this is not even subtle. This is out there. And Young Justice was like, hey, everybody had a secret and nobody was telling. Superboy was using drugs.
They passed it off as some kind of like genetic engineering, although it pretty much looked like a Venom patch, like what they had in Batman Beyond, for lack of a better way of.
Yeah. It was. It was the exact same thing.
Pretty much.
The exact same thing.
Although when he goes toe to toe with the Parasite, he leans on those patches a little much, like, and that ends up being what costs him the fight, if I recall.
I mean, when he was using when he went toe to toe with the Parasite, that's what lost him the fight because he decided to patch up. If he didn't patch up,
he patched.
The Parasite the Parasite wouldn't have got that power though.
In a way, yes, and in a way, no, because he already had Superboy's base already.
Yeah.
Like from the first 5 minutes of the fight, because Superboy did what Superboy does, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna rush in and just punch this guy's head off.
Right.
And so he gets caught, and he decides to patch up, and in process, he feeds the Parasite more, but also burns the patch, so he puts himself at a disadvantage.
Yeah, that is true.
But the Parasite, honestly, seems like a kind of undervalued and underused villain. Like, I could see a lot more being done with it.
He was Superman's issue. He was never a real issue within the actual DC universe besides Superman. Superman was his problem and his problem alone. Because he fed off of Superman's blood. Like he fed off that Kryptonian DNA.
Right.
And when it came down to other supers, like Batman, he couldn't get anything off of Batman. Like, oh, what am I gonna get off of Batman? But when the Justice League and everything got formed, that's when the Parasite was really effective because he just started absorbing. He absorbed Wonder Woman's powers. He absorbed the Martian Manhunter's powers at one point in time, and that was really bad because the whole league almost got dealt with until Batman
Right.
showed up and was like, "Hey, fire, put him out."
I have the power of infinite prep time.
And they showed that in Young Justice too. It's like, hey, if you absorb our powers, you also get our weaknesses. But
Right.
when it comes down to villains that really don't get a lot of love, and they need a lot of love, well, like I said, my main two villains was Vandal Savage and Apocalypse. Well, not Apocalypse, but Darkseid
Darkseid.
for DC. And honestly, I like Vandal Savage more than I like Darkseid. I do. Darkseid is just there because he just hates the crap out of Superman, and he's just like, look, you're not even like my biggest to-do list. Like Superman is like this. This is Darkseid's to-do list, and this is where Superman fits in. That's it. He's like, you're not the biggest thing I have to deal with right now. Like you're not. Like you are.
He's
not
obsessed
even
with like
close.
making the galaxy like mimic Apocalypse.
Yeah. And Vandal Savage, he is the villain that sits up there. He's like Apocalypse from Marvel. He believes that the strong need, like, you need the strongest, the survival of the strongest. That's basically it.
Survival of the fittest, I believe, is what you were looking for.
Thank you. Definitely just misquoted that whole thing. Survival of the fittest. Vandal Savage believes in survival of the fittest. And
Of course, because isn't he immortal?
Vandal Savage, yeah. But Vandal Savage he been knew who Batman was. Everybody else is sitting up here like, who's the Bat? Vandal Savage already knows. He doesn't care. Like, it took Raj Al Ghul like 5 years to find out who Batman was. And
Well, the
old
Joker's
school-
known for a good long time, and it doesn't affect him because in his mind, if he said anything about Batman actually being Bruce Wayne, that ruins the game for him. There's no motivation
Well, yeah.
for him to, you know?
Well, I was talking about like, non-psychopaths. Because if
Fair
we talk
enough.
about psychopaths, because if we talk about psychopaths that know who Batman is, the Joker's the only one.
No.
Okay, who else?
I would say Two-Face. Because he comes out
Harvey.
at one point, and he literally, at one point, when he's trying to save Harvey, he pulls the mask off, and he's like, let me help you.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's got him dangling off of that roof.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from with that one. Yeah. Oh, man, I forgot about that. I did forget about that one. I really did. Man. But, hold on. But could you make Harvey Dent a psychopath? Because Harvey Dent has been flirting with the realms of good and evil for a while.
I would not call him a psychopath in the same realm of the Joker,
Right.
but, and I mean, because I know we have a bit of a younger aged viewership here, but so this
Yeah.
may go over some heads. I wouldn't call Harvey Dent a psychopath in the sense of the Joker. I would see it more of like, if anybody's seen the show Dexter, it's like
Okay.
you're doing bad things, but your reasoning behind it,
It's sound. Yeah.
yeah. Because I mean, he believes like his mindset may not be all there, and that's why I give him the psychopathic
Yeah.
labeling. But whether he was even the judge for a while, he had that alter ego with Batman. Like he literally tried to lock up his own hideout and gas himself out. So I will say, yeah, the accident kind of split the personality and screwed him up. But Harvey Dent, to me, is still there, like, and still wanting, and still motivated by the same things that got him into being district attorney in the first place.
Yeah, that is very true.
He's kind of taken a backseat to the coin.
Oh man, we definitely want to talk about this. We're going to definitely talk about this later, but
all right.
I'm gonna give out the last two Batman questions, and in order to win the little, you have to comment with the answers down below of the video. So last two questions.
Why don't we make one of them a little bit of a classic? Well, for us, I'm not talking the 60s.
Okay. Oh man, I got one.
I know that laugh. I know that laugh.
I got one.
All right, shoot.
And this is the dark one.
Positively beaming right now, by the way.
Oh man, this is a good one because I'm a fan of this one.
Okay.
No, wait, that's kind of easy. Dang, I just thought about it. That's kind of easy. All right, if I had to go to hard, I had to go to a really out of the box type of question that you didn't see coming. Oh, I got one. This is a good one. It's not hard. It's not hard. When did Bruce Wayne use a gun?
It's not, but you're making them work for it. I approve. Because if it is what I'm thinking it is...
We'll talk about it. All right. The second one. This is the second, and this is the second and final question of the contest. In the 1990 animated series of Batman, how many outfits did he go through?
Wow.
Yeah, there you go. That's like hard. Because you're gonna sit up there.
We're gonna have somebody that's gonna sit there and queue up every episode and count them individually.
I don't know how you're gonna queue it up. You can't queue it. You can't queue it up because by my count, I'm not gonna say my count, but my count.
Are you talking just the 90s, or are you talking the when they remade the animation as well?
No, I'm talking about just the 90s animated series Batman.
Okay.
How many?
Didn't they?
How many costumes did he have?
And are you counting like extended little, like let's say for example if he used like a Batbot, are you counting that?
No. I'm talking
just straight up costume.
Yep, it's from the Batman animated series. Mind you, I'm saying this now. Batman animated series. How many outfits did he have?
Wow. You're gonna make him work for a little bit at least.
That one, I mean, it's because you can Wikipedia it, but you're
Right.
going to get the wrong answer. Because Wikipedia already that doesn't have the right answer. I already know it doesn't have the right answer.
So no cheating, guys.
Like this is that diehard fan type thing. But hey, here's the tiebreaker. This is the tiebreaker of every. This is the tiebreaker. I want to say this is the one that's worth all the rubies and all the points in all the world.
We will give you all the batarangs stashed away in our bet belt.
There is a fight between Jason Todd and Dick Grayson for the mantle of Batman. Who wins that fight? But wait. Wait. The first thing to this question is who wins the fight? The second is who saves who?
Wow.
There you go. There you go. And mind you, you can find that answer on Wikipedia. You can find that answer on Wikipedia. So there you go. But you have to know that you have to listen to the show in order to win. So if you don't listen to the show, you're gonna win. The first part of some comment is like, I didn't tell these answers to anybody. There's not somebody that's like, I mean, I could answer these questions like right now. It's just send me the dog,
Right,
please.
but you're the one that's drawing
Yeah,
this
I'm
whole
out
thing
of
up.
this. I'm taking
And I
myself
mean,
out of it.
we kind of pinged around some questions, and you even changed some of them, like, as we aired. Like, we had those little discussions, and
Yeah,
you
I
were like,
did.
oh. So there's no way anybody could have known what we were using beforehand, because
Right.
we didn't even know.
But I know, because I know these answers. I know the answers like the back of my hand, so it's not new to me right here. This is not new. All right. So this has been Guys Night. I'm Travis.
I'm Tony, or Shadow Knight.
And this is it for Guys Night.